All right, let's talk about something that's probably hiding in the shadows of your warehouse right now. It's this quiet, space-hogging monster that just silently eats away at your profits. Today, we're going to drag that expiry monster right out into the open, and I'm going to show you, step by step, how to finally tame it for good. So let me ask you a question. I want you to really think about this. Picture your entire inventory right now. Every single thing you've got on the shelves. What's the single most expensive product you're holding? You might think it's that fancy high-tech gadget or maybe that premium imported material, right?
Well, the answer is it's the one you have to throw away. See, an expired product, that's not just a lost sale. It's a complete 100% loss. Just think about it for a second. You paid for the product, you paid for the shipping, you paid for the storage, the labor, all of that, just for it to end up in the trash.
Okay, so before you can even begin to fight this drain on your business, you've got to know how to spot it. Let's think of your operation kind of like a patient for a second. Expired stock? That's the chronic disease. And believe me, it has clear symptoms that start showing up way before your profits actually flatline. So let's take a look at those warning signs.
So, as we go through these, I want you to ask yourself, does any of this sound a little too familiar? Finding expired items during a so-called routine check? Yeah, that's never routine. Or what about noticing your team always grabs the easiest, newest box right from the front, burying all the old stuff in the back? That is a massive red flag. And rising disposal costs? Or, and this is the absolute worst, customer complaints? Look, these aren't just minor hiccups. They are screaming signs of a much deeper, systemic problem.
Now, the number one defense against all this is a pretty simple concept, really. It's called FIFO, or even better, FIFO. Now, first in, first out. That's good. But for anything with a shelf life, first expired, first out is the absolute gold standard. The rule couldn't be simpler. The product that's going to expire the soonest, that's the one you ship out first. It sounds completely obvious, right? But you would be amazed how often that simple rule gets broken. All right, so we've identified the symptoms. The next logical step is getting a proper diagnosis. See, it's not enough to just clean up the expired mess when you find it. We have to dig deeper and understand exactly why good, valuable stock is going bad to begin with. And here's the thing, the root causes are almost never one single big catastrophe. It's usually a bunch of small things. A lack of discipline, pickers just grabbing what's convenient instead of what's correct. It could be something as simple as expiry dates hidden on the back of a pallet or not getting logged into your system the right way. And then boom, older stock gets buried behind new arrivals. And with no system alerts, it's totally out of sight, out of mind, until it's way too late. All these little failures add up to create a perfect storm for waste.
So we've diagnosed the problem. Now it's time for treatment. And we're going to start with some first aid. These are the immediate tactical things you can do right now to stop the financial bleeding and start getting back in control of your inventory.
And we're going to break our whole action plan into two parts. First up is the immediate first aid. The quick, tactical fixes you need to stop the bleeding today. Then, we're going to move on to building what I call bulletproof systems. That's the long-term cure to make sure this problem never comes back.
All right, let's get super practical. Picture this. You've just done a stock check, and you found a whole pallet of expired goods. What is the very first thing you do? Panicking is not an option. You need a protocol.
And here it is. This is your 4-step emergency plan. Step 1, quarantine it. Get it out of the main picking area immediately so there's zero chance it gets shipped by mistake. Step 2, update your system right away. Your inventory numbers have to reflect reality instantly. 3, investigate, and I mean really investigate this. Was this just a one-off mistake from a new hire, or is there a blind spot in your racking that's always hiding old stock? Did your purchasing team go crazy and overorder based on a bad forecast? You have to find the real why. And finally, number 4, communicate. Let your sales and purchasing teams know what happened so they can adjust their plans.
Okay, that first aid is absolutely crucial, but let's be honest. You don't want to live in the emergency room, right? So now let's talk about the long-term cure. This is where we move beyond just reacting to problems and start building a really robust system. A system where doing the right thing is actually the easiest thing to do.
Look, setting up a real FIFO system, it's not black magic. It all starts with the physical layout of your warehouse. You need to design your racks for a proper flow-through. Use simple visual cues, like floor markings, to guide your staff. Make sure your labels are big, clear, and easy to see from the aisle. And you have to train your team relentlessly on why this matters to the business's bottom line. And finally, let technology do the heavy lifting. A good warehouse management system, or WMS, can direct your pickers to the exact right pallet every single time. But just remember, that system is only as good as the data you feed it. Accuracy is everything. This right here, this is where you go from being reactive to being truly proactive. It's a total game changer. Don't just wait for stuff to expire. Set up automated alerts in your system for any stock that's getting close. Start doing regular audits that are specifically looking at shelf life. And you gotta be ruthless here. If you have a product that consistently expires, it might be time to just say goodbye to that SKU. And one more big one. Talk to your suppliers. Work with them to set a minimum shelf life you'll accept on delivery. Stop the problem before it even gets through your door.
And this is how you actively get value back from stock that's heading towards the danger zone. When your system flags an item that's, say, 60 or 90 days away from expiring, that's your cue to act. Move it to a special priority pick zone. Get your sales team on the phone immediately. Run a flash sale. Seriously, tons of customers are more than happy to take short-dated stock if they're getting a nice discount. It's a total win-win. You avoid a complete loss and your customer gets a fantastic deal.
Okay, so you've applied the first aid, you've started building that long-term cure, but how do you actually know if the patient is getting any healthier? Well, you have to monitor the vitals. You've all heard the saying, you can't manage what you don't measure, and it is absolutely true here.
And this really is the crucial question, isn't it? I mean, all these changes, they feel good, they feel productive. But are your efforts actually paying off? Because without data, you're just guessing. You need hard numbers to prove that your new system is working and to justify the time and money you've put into it.
First things first, you need a clear target to aim for. The industry benchmark for expired stock, as a percentage of your total inventory, is less than 1%. Think of that as your North Star. Now, I know it sounds ambitious, but it is absolutely achievable once you have the right systems in place.
And here's the dashboard you're going to use to track all that progress. So of course, you're tracking that main number, the percentage of expired stock. But you also need to measure compliance. Are your pickers actually following the FIFO rules you set up? You got to track the total dollar value of your waste. And for perishables, how fast are you getting them from the loading dock onto the shelf and ready to sell? These key metrics, these KPIs, they're what's going to give you the full, honest picture of your inventory's health.
So let's end on this thought. Managing expiry, it's not just about being neat and tidy in the warehouse. It's about protecting the absolute lifeblood of your business, your profits. A good system isn't just another expense on the books. It's an investment that will pay for itself over and over and over again. So I'll leave you with this one question to think about. Is your system truly working for you, or is it finally time to tame that expiry monster for good?